Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Lycan DM's Workshop. Today we will be showcasing the end of the chapter in this series where we delved into ruins. We ruined buildings, the ruined tower, all that has come to an end, and it is time to showcase what we've done. So, without further ado, well, I'm actually going to have a little bit more. Because there is one thing that we're going to be doing today. We are going to be doing cavern walls. So I'll show you how I do these. But first, let's go ahead and hit the tabletop for the showcase. All right, so here we go. Is the setup I have so far of the ruined buildings. Now, this ruined town lies in destitute. The remains of some ancient plague. So let's look at a few of these. So we're gonna zoom in here. So a couple of these buildings are really nice as far as the window layouts go. I really like how they all tie in together. I'll get an overhead shot shortly, but meantime, let's take a look at these. So this one over here has these ruined doors that are stuck and sealed with iron bandings. I love the broken window on this one and the broken wall in the back. The farmhouse, the one in the front, so you can see that window better. I love how this came out. This little building here with the cracked wall in the back. Moving on. This rotted door is pretty neat. You can really see those tiles on the inside. And it looks like a dirty old floor rather than just a gray and black. I like doing the brown. The ruined tower there in the back. We'll take that apart and look inside shortly. Some more of the buildings. This one over here is one of my favorites. A really large building here. This one also has the iron bandings on the shutters and the doors. All in all, I like how this came out. All right, now let's do a freehand view. Excuse me if the shaky hand camera is a little annoying. I apologize, but we'll do this. Just gotta get the camera free from my mount. There we go. All right. So, from above, these buildings look great. They came out just the way I hoped they would, and I am very pleased with the outcome. And there we go. Making our way to the ruined tower. Now, we'll start from the top and work our way down. I love the way that roof came out. So, trapdoor opens, Inside we got a little ladder. The ladder heads down. We got our staircase over here. Some rubble, the broken hole. Let me see a little bit better once we get inside. There we have the staircase, the broken floor, the next staircase down. Nice shapely hole. Into the main chamber. A little bit of rubble. Stairs. The entryway. Try not blocking the light. Into the main cottage. And then the cottage itself. Very simple. So, let's put that back together. Piece by piece. All right. Now let's zoom out. Get a nice above shot. So there we go. There we have it. There is the this little makeshift layout I have of this little village. This ruined village in the middle of the jungle. I think it came out pretty well. So, let's take a look at the caverns. So here we go. The portcullis entrance. Inside is a fortified lake, a cavern lake, filled with stalagmites from the dripping ceilings above. The columns what secrets does this chamber hold? As we delve deeper into the Underdark. Let's go ahead and dive into the tabletop. So here we go. This is the outlying setup I have here. Just another one, just a very random and modular setup for this this dungeon, this cavern. And yeah, so let me just, there's some basic pieces that I want to showcase first before we go ahead and jump into. So some of these are centerpieces. Some of these are major projects that have taken great amounts of time, but are all relatively simple to make. I'll start with the portcullis. So the portcullis, cardboard and hot glue base. This is just two pieces of cardboard folded in half, so that way a piece of balsa wood and other little strips of balsa wood, making the portcullis grate, goes inside. A tab on the top, surrounded by just real rocks, hot glue. All this is cheap, inexpensive. I think the main shafts are also made of balsa wood, if you want to take a look inside here. So let me focus a little bit better. So inside you can see that there's some balsa wood as the main structure, whereas the rest of it is just glue and cardboard. This little guy goes inside. And there we go. We have a functioning portcullis. Pretty neat little structure. We have my Underdark entrance or cavern entrance. So this is once again, cardboard base with hot glue. And the stalagmites and the stalactites are just, even this little pillar here is just toothpicks covered in hot glue. And the same was done from the top. Turned these upside down and turned them into stalactites. And then this is just a piece of cardboard folded over the top. Once again, covered in hot glue. So these are all very, very simple as far as these centerpieces go. These are actually pieces of rough cut glass you can buy at the hobby store. They're meant to look like giant rubies. That was my whole intention here. But yeah, this is just, once again, piece of cardboard on the bottom, hot glue, cardboard back. Some this one actually has some supports on the back to keep it to keep the structure intact. And yeah, and then this is just hot glue. Everything's attached with hot glue. This really gets into the really simple, old school ways of making things. We'll get to this last, this centerpiece. The giant stalagmite is cardboard covered in hot glue. All the little ones, all these little tiny scatter pieces, are cardboard base with this one's a half wall on a cardboard base, and then these are just either pieces of wood, whether they're barbecue skewers or toothpicks with the hot glue just built up on them to give them a good structure. And yeah, and we'll get to the paint job and the muckiness later. Same thing's done with this. This one is a little island piece. It's several layers of cardboard built up. A rock, and then your toothpick covered in hot glue. All this is just hot glue, cardboard, and a toothpick. Get you a little more detail on that one, when I zoom in. So, as you see, this is one of my favorite little standalone pieces. These pillars, all these are just toilet paper rolls. They are stuffed with paper, just shredded extra paper, just to give them a little bit of weight. The hot glue gives them a decent amount of weight too. And then they're just textured with the hot glue. I like this one better than this one, but they both have their own. I like how this one has the different creases in it, but I like the texture on this one better. So there's things I like about both of these, but a lot of what we're doing in this series is revisiting this. And I'll show you a few of these different things. Takes a lot of these away. All right, so let's get down to some of the basics. We have straight walls that come in two different sizes, or three different sizes rather. So we have the 2-inch pieces. Now these are 2 inches high, just like we made our walls in the ruined village. But we have ones that are 2 inches long. We have some that are 4 inches long, and then we have other that are 6 inches long. It's really just for modularity. That's what this is for. So we have some long walls, some short walls, and some regular standard medium-sized walls. We have wavy walls. I generally try to make some in two different directions. So we have some basically sine and cosine waves. That way we can match them up and make corners with them, or they can match up two corners, make some interesting shapes in the dungeon, so everything's not just straight. And these come in the same way. Most of these are 3 inches, but you can also make them in 6 inches. Yeah, I mean, really, it's however you want to run the show. But you could make these in 4 inches. I find 2 to be a little short for zigzag pieces. I would say 3 and 6s for these guys. The 6s might as well be straight when they're zigzags, because all you have to do is just turn the corners a little bit, and they really match, because they're so long, they match up with everything. So I really just make these in 3s. Then we have corner pieces. While we're on the topic, I have long corners and short corners. So the short corners are just 1, 2, 3 squares, just a 3-inch corner, whereas these are 3 and 3. And that way, it's basically you have 2 on each side with 1 piece in the middle for the in the corner. It just works out nicely that way. Some of these can be wavy. It can be a combination of these main setups, more or less. We have curved walls. I have some short curves, which are 4 inches long. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have these, which are 6 inches. They're just deeper. And they can be pretty nice. They can add little effects like rocks, or this one has stalagmites in it. You can stack these. This is nice if you want to make a to get to higher levels that show like a hole in the floor. A lot of these, because of the way the bases are, makes them stackable, and that can come in handy when trying to make leveled caverns. And I have connection pieces, which we'll get to at another time. But let's get into specialty pieces while we're at it. So one of the specialty pieces we have here is it's not really a pillar, but what it is it's a that chunk of wall that just goes in the middle. That it's a thicker wall is what it is. So you can have something along these lines, where one part of the cavern had, and because you could put 2 of these walls together, but that doesn't necessarily always look that great, you know? So what we do, we build one of these. We have them in squares, we have them in triangles, or triangle-ish shapes, and so that's one of our specialty pieces. Ramps, which are nice. This is a ramp that's got some stalagmites on it. These are built in two sections. One is halfway, and the next ones are half to full height. They're built that way for several reasons. One, because you can have this as just a standalone structure that you can put on the outside and it look like it's a shallow cave. They are hollow because they function both as a way down, where you can basically stack these and bottoms painted on these ones. But yeah, they're meant to look like there's possibly a ramp going downwards. But there's second level ones, which are these. So these go in front, and they go up to the second wall. We have ones that are just more of these, but continue straight before you go to the second height. We have some corner pieces for whether you want to put it on an angle or have a turn. They're nice for that. I have some square ones of these, which I need more, so that'll be one of the interesting things that we can build. I've got steps. Now, dungeon stairs are built the same way that we built them in the last one. They go up to the second level. I have them both in 1 inch and then ones that are 2 inches. So these are all just little random bits that combine to do a nice dungeon. So yeah, so what are we doing? What is the purpose of this build? People ask me all the time, where did I get these? Where did I get these? I built them out of cardboard and hot glue. And eventually we get to something like this. This is my latest piece. This is a combination of both Cavern and resin. So it's a nice cavern lake. A shallow lake at that, but still. There's a little bit of a waterfall coming down here from this one portion of the lake into the next. There's some pools of water here and there, pools of minerals. I love this mineral green color. But the idea behind this is, what if your destination's on this side? You have to get from here, where the cavern exits, to this side. You got to go around, but there could be an aboleth in here. There could be any sort of monstrous creatures that lurk in dark lakes. This could be home to a black dragon, an underground swampy area. There's all sorts of things you can do with a layout like this, and all this was just layers of chipboard. And then the middle ones are a stack of cardboard, because cardboard's thicker to get under the water, under the resin. And then layers of the chipboard. And then finally the toothpick stalagmites. So, where are we going from here? We need some materials. One, our base. I'm going to do an experiment this time. I have a piece of chipboard, 1 by 4 inches, and a piece of cardboard, 1 by 4 inches. I'm used to using the cardboard. It's lighter, it's flexible, but that's good for the walls itself. The chipboard is a little stiffer and has a little more weight to it. So I'm going to see about possibly changing how I do these bases. The width is 1 inch because that helps it be stackable on top of each other. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing a little experiment with these guys. So we're going to put those off to one side. We got cardboard. Cardboard for the walls. This is just a box that I trimmed up. We are going to cut these into 2-inch strips. A lot of times I won't even bother measuring the length of them because it's the base that matters, and I'll take these and I'll curve them, I'll mold them into whatever shape I want that fits on the base. So for instance, we are going to cut off a 2-inch strip here just for our merry purposes. I'm using my my grid on my cutting board as a guide. Alright. This is 6 inches long. I'm going to put it on a 4-inch board. So we're going to mold this a little bit. We're going to give this a nice, and now these are going to be two-sided, so you got to look at it this way. One side is going to be a little different than the other, and that's good because we want modularity. We want to be able to use one side and then the other. Now, it may get to the point where this is too much on one piece, but I'm going to show you how I can fit a 6-inch piece onto a 4-inch board. At least maybe. I might get an inch hanging off. Because we don't want to cover it completely. We get some tight corners in here. Some nice rounds. Yeah, we're going to lose just a little bit of this. But that is all right. Okay. So, before we cut it, we're going to glue it down. Now, other materials we need. Good old razor for cutting. Pencil for marking. We got a ruler nearby. And I have 2 sizes of glue guns here. I have my trusty mini Surebonder that runs at a nice low temp. This is what I'm going to do most of my gluing. And when I've done these in the past, I've always needed a stronger glue gun that runs at a hotter temperature with more glue to go down the sides to make the flowstone, which is how I basically model my caverns, is after flowstone. So I got this new Surebonder. It is a standard size, and it's cordless. So I'm gonna give this a try, and we're gonna do. Full disclosure, I did not get this for free. I had to actually buy this, but I'm still gonna give it a review compared to my trusty small one. So we're gonna see how that goes. So first things first, we are going to draw out how we're doing this on here. I'm just going to draw trace one side. And then the other. Alright, that way I have a path going down the middle. Get a little closer. And that way we have a guide as to how we're going to glue it. So first we're going to put down our first layer of glue. And we're going to put down a nice thick layer. Now, there's 2 ways to go about this from what I've done before in the past. Cut the cardboard into the shape, the organic shape you want it to be in. And the second is to cut it after you glue it in. That way you can get a more natural shape compared to whatever wall shape you want. So I'm going to hold this here for a second just to let it solidify and cool, which is why the low temp glue gun is so important for this part. And then while I'm holding it in place, I'm going to go back over it a little bit and just put a bead around the outside to give it a little structure. So this guy is going to be interesting. It's got a nice little interesting shape to it. We're going to cut off this extra 1/4 of an inch or so. Okay, and now we see we have a nice structure there. Now what we want to do is we want to round those edges. So another tool we're going to need is just a little pair. Now a little pair of scissors is going to be really helpful in, you want them to be sharp, but they're a little bit better to guide with. Now I'm really just going to round the corners on this one. And a lot of this we're going to shape more with the hot glue. I'm going to cut a little bit into here. Sometimes where the indents are, it's nice to get just a little curve in there. All right. And it doesn't have to be perfect at this stage, because we are going to cover this whole thing in hot glue. But we're going to wait a second. We're going to let that joint dry. And while that joint is drying, let's cut ourselves another piece. So, I'm going to go with a more straighter piece on this one. So, we are going to measure up the 2 inches. And this is something you can freehand. You don't have to mark. As long as you know the side to the side, you can get a little bit of a wave in there. You don't want too much of a wave, but you could get a little bit in there. And then we're going to just measure this. I'm going to use this side. I'm going to cut off a 4-inch piece. Save your scraps. These will come in handy. Pretty much any scrap can be turned into a scatter, whether it's a stalagmite or part of a centerpiece. Save your scraps. Okay, this one I'm just going to crease up a little bit. I'm pushing it down the middle too, because that's going to give it a nice little crack down the middle. Now, eyeballing this gave me, because it wasn't a perfect measure, gives me some wiggle room to give some bend and curve to it. Just a little bit. Now we can do this another way, which is if we have this shaped, we can put the glue on this first. And then put it down. Now, we do want these ends to be in the middle of the base. Technical difficulties. Pardon me just a moment. There we go. Alright, so here are two pieces. This one I'm going to put another bead on just to get it a little more secure. And we're just going to let that sit. Alright, so, first things first. We're going to do a little work, if you will. We're going to cover up the corrugation on the sides and on the top. We're going to worry about the bottom later. But right now we want to just get the corrugation on the top. Now, I will, mind you, tell you how much hot glue this project will consume. The cardboard is the base, but really the medium of this craft is in fact the hot glue. And we're just going to lay this up here. If it drips, we like that. We want the drips to form. Alright. Set that piece to the side. Do the same thing on here. See, listen now. For those of you who are out there, follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/TheLycanDM. I am, at this point, 9 followers away from being an affiliate. And being an affiliate on Twitch would go a long way into helping me keep making these videos, keep making me able to DM full-time. That is probably one of the best ways to do it. Follow me on YouTube. Hit that like and the like and subscribe button. At the Lycan DM on YouTube. All right, now let's see here. We were taking this off. It has an on and off switch. I like that. I wish this had a high temp and a low temp setting. It doesn't. This is just high temp only. But I'm going to leave it on, and we're going to see how this works. Now, apparently, I have 2 minutes of working time while it is unhooked from the base. The base plugs in, and this is separate. So we are going to go. All right. Now, one thing you want to do with this is you're going to want to start at the top and work your way down. Sit it down. Plain and simple. and then just start squirting hot glue. If you're not familiar with flowstone, it is one of my favorite Cavern concepts. Basically is we're taking millions of years of time here and putting it down into just a few minutes of a few seconds even. This is going really hot. This is actually very nice. Maybe too nice. I might need to slow down a bit. We will cut off some of this excess. But this is all it is it's just dripping and pouring and letting the hot glue gun, the pour, do the work. That is the wrong size. Now I basically just went through one glue stick just there. So the fact that this is going that fast is pretty neat. Any holes we will fill up, but we want to just get the majority of the flow done. I'm going to do it with the other one too, but we're going to do one side at a time. Yeah, it's already starting to cool quite a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let that drip. We'll let that charge. So, I know it's hard to tell right now, but right now we're just letting the glue do the work. This might get some interesting flow to it. Some interesting depth, the way it's going. And really, a lot of it is that way because flowstone. You know, it's minerals. It's the same way stalagmites and stuff like that are built. All right, I'll have to come to you, which is fine. All right, so this one still pretty hot. Actually, I can tear this away from that hot glue, which is fine for right now. What I can do is this. Be less to cut off later. Part of the problem, I think, was the fact that I talked so much with it off the base. But we're going to try it again and see if it's ready now. And it's already starting to cool off. Alright, let's see how this is doing. This is starting to harden up. So we're going to go in with our small hot glue gun. And fill in some of these cracks and crevices. We'll wait on that one. So, this is one thing I'm already not liking about this cordless Surebonder. I need something that's pretty much rapid fire. I wonder. Oh, nice feature, Surebonder. Cordless is optional. I can just keep it plugged in. Nice. Okay. Although the cord is a little stiff, it's better than nothing. So we're going to try this plugged in. All right, this is working pretty well now. It does get like super hot if you let it sit there and charge. However, for this project, this is hot enough just releasing the glue like I am. What I'm doing now, it's a little hard to tell, but I'm building up the bottom around the bottom of the exposed cardboard. Doing this a lot like how we did the trees. In the jungle setting, tropical beach setting. Alright, we're going to let that one sit and dry. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I like the way this one is coming out. Let me bring this one a little closer to the camera. That's fine. Just do this. So yeah, so that... Trying to get the light away from it. The way the stone is on that, the way the flow is, I like that. It's really, really neat. Now this does create a little bit of waste, but I wonder if I can remedy that a little bit. Alright, use that piece that came off as a little filler. Always find ways to reuse your product. Don't want to waste it. And yeah, just once again, we're just going at this from the top, letting the glue do its job and flow down naturally. You know, I just thought of something. If by next week, or just in general, as long as it's before this project is done, I would gladly do a We Are Now affiliate special and do a raffle. Whoever, you know, we pay in bits, and you buy a number, and we'll do a raffle that is, if you can guess the amount of hot glue sticks I go through, then I don't know, you win a prize. Maybe I'll do a batch of these for you. I'll figure out what exactly a batch is. Now, this one I didn't cut. Because I want to see something. A lot of what I'm doing today is an experiment. All right, let's take a peek at this guy. Is he ready to come off yet? Not quite yet. Still a little too hot. A little too sticky. And but yeah, this is coming out pretty good. This is just some basic stuff right here. This is the Lycan DM's Cavern Walls 101 today. That's what this is. Oh, that's why I should name the episode. Cavern Walls 101. Because, as I said, we are going to do a nice tie-in project. A nice... After I do this, I take whatever scraps I have, and I build them into my my centerpiece. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do on this video. But yeah, so the centerpiece is going to be this oceanfront cavern entrance. Something that'll tie in the beach to this. I do have one slab of beach terrain that I have not touched yet, and I think it's going to be perfect for this. Remember this guy? The one we never finished? Well, I've been looking for a reason to use it up. And what I'm picturing is... This is the cavern entrance here. A large, prominent piece coming up. A cliff side. And then resin in this area here. And then the cave mouth over here. So this is going to be quite tall. But it's gonna be the centerpiece of what we're gonna be working on, and I'm excited. But yes, so thank you for watching. Today's a little bit of a shorter episode, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for coming, and keep crafting.